Let's take a look at the use of contrasts within the play and how Shakespeare uses these contrasts as a device. We can see that there are contrasts between and within characters throughout the play, showing us that Shakespeare's use of the aesthetic features of contrasts or juxtaposition and the stylistic device of contrasts in the plot is certainly purposeful. Shakespeare uses the contrast between Lear's hubris in the opening love trial and his eventual repentance and humbleness to criticise the ignorance and greed of those in power. Shakespeare highlights Lear's arrogance at the beginning of the play through constructing the competitive love trial as highly unnatural, evident when Lear offers his largest bounty to the daughter who can flatter him the most. The use of the transactional connotations and inherently violent cultural understanding of bounty as a reward for killing revealed to Jacobean audiences that Lear's pride and selfish desire for adulation has completely disrupted natural order through fostering and encouraging vicious competition between his daughters. This notion would have been especially pertinent to audiences at the time due to their belief in a strict familial structure dictated by a God-ordained natural order. Lear's arrogant characterization is further reinforced when Lear, after banishing his beloved daughter Cordelia, threatens his most loyal advisor Kent, a character who has only ever honoured the monarch. Lear warns, "Come not between a dragon and his wrath." Although Jacobean audiences would have recognised that as a monarch, Lear was able to feel as he wished, the aggressive imagery of dragon and the inherent violence associated with the animal being directed at both his most dutiful daughter and noble advisor makes his threat highly unnatural, positioning audiences to further criticise his egotistical rampage as it contrasts with Cordelia and Kent's devotion to Lear and the societal expectations of a king. Also, the impulsive and rash denotations of wrath further emphasise Lear's egocentricity and the contrast between his God-given responsibility and his neglectful attitude towards ruling, as Shakespeare draws on Jacobean's expectations that rulers should be caring and selfless. However, despite this earlier cruelty, Shakespeare contrasts Lear's arrogance at the opening love trial to his humble behaviour towards the end of the play, through the monarch's pitiful exclamation that he is bound upon a wheel of fire that mine own tears do scald like molten lead, after seeing Cordelia again. The helpless diction of bound and the phrase mine own tears, which act as a symbol of Lear's repentance and regret through the monarch's recognition of the consequences of his own actions, contrast Lear's earlier power-induced rampage. Shakespeare also reinforces the contrast in Lear's character and his acceptance of his faults through the parallel between the monarch's earlier characterization as a dragon, which contemporary and Jacobean audiences associate with flames, and the diction of burning in wheel of fire, scald, and molten lead, that is something which is only melted by extreme heat, to show the deep contrast in the way Lear views himself and how repentant he is for his earlier pride-driven arrogance. Shakespeare's use of this diction of injury, along with the circular imagery of the wheel, positions audiences to understand that Lear has caused his own suffering due to his earlier arrogant, rash and blind attitude, which contrasts against Jacobean understandings of kings as noble and careful, leading all audiences to condemn the monarch for his pride and the resultant widespread suffering throughout the play, strengthening the warning against the greedy abuse of power through such clear contrasts that drive all action within the play.